Good evening, everybody. My name is Patrick Moran. This is the discussion question for week one. The question regarding the reason that the U.S. did not create a military political empire in the Middle East as opposed to the economic partnership that it ended up going with, why policymakers advocated for the economic partnership. The reason is alluded to in the reading. It's twofold, as some of the other videos have suggested. An economic partnership made more sense for the U.S. at the time because they could claim a moral superiority, as Dr. Meredith referred to in his video. World War I had just ravaged Europe, and it was based on a series of empires. You had the German Empire and the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the British Empire, all sort of bringing the whole world into war. And as the U.S. perceived itself to be an exceptional nation that was sort of above all that, they could come into the Middle East in an economic partnership and claim a sort of moral superiority. We're better than this empire. You know, if they went in and just took over like everybody else does, and the military moves in and your resources are now our resources, then they make themselves no better than all the empires that they're trying to claim a moral superiority over throughout Europe and throughout the rest of the world. Also, the other factor involved is the difficulty in establishing a military political empire as time went on between the wars and into World War II and then the Cold War. The reading referred to the Middle East as the hub of three continents. You've got Asia, Europe, and Africa all sort of coming together in this area, and to attempt, especially post-World War II, to try to maintain that while nationalism is sort of going out of style and people are throwing off empires of the past. You know, India is getting independence, and which is a huge crown jewel of the British Empire, and all these countries are sort of claiming independence. The U.S. simply isn't going to be able to come in there. I think one of the other videos referred to as, you know, forcing them into the arms of the other people, and that's absolutely right. I mean, the U.S. is not going to be able to come in and hold the area, and plus they're going to scare more allies into the Warsaw Pact, into, you know, communist arms, as communism was sort of on the rise in the area anyway. So again, it's twofold. The U.S. was able to claim moral superiority and be unlike the old regimes of the past that established these empires in the first place. The U.S. was going for American exceptionalism, and also the U.S. would have had a very difficult time holding the Middle East anyway, as there was a lot more political goings on in the region and a lot more military and strategic difficulties. So the economic partnership was the way to go. The other islands, Guam and you know, the Philippines and Cuba and Puerto Rico, are much easier to control. A, because in the case of Puerto Rico and Cuba, at least, they're a lot closer to the U.S., and B, because they're islands and they're easily defensible with a very powerful navy, which the U.S. began to have after World War II, especially. And it would have just been unpractical to attempt the same in the Middle East, especially with the volatility of the region, which the other regions mentioned do not have. Thank you. I look forward to your responses.